Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Orthodox Review, the most uneducated educational program on the internet. I am your host with 1.5 thumbs, and this is episode 82. And I am hesitant to speak as loudly as I am because, heaven forbid, I wake the cat, who, as usual, is no longer interrupting videos, but just sleeping there on the bed, looking all cute and fluffy. The envy. Look at this. Check this out. Ain't that the life? Ain't that just the life right there? Our feline friends got it made, folks. But anyway, we're not here to talk about cats that much. We're here to talk about books. And before we get into the book, huge thanks to my patrons. Y'all are pretty cool folks, and I loves you lots. And also to all of you here watching the show, thank you so much for sticking it out and being part of the magic. If you're not already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, because I told you to. You know, it's weird. I watch a lot of YouTube channels, and you know they make it look so cool to like subscribe to their channel, and me, I'm over here like, if you wanna. Anyway, so let's get into this. This is part 2 in our catechetical series. This is Orthodox Faith, Worship, and Life, Orthodox Catechism and Outline by Hieromonk Gregorius of the Holy Mountain, who's a fantastic monk, spiritual father, and writer. We've covered several of his works before on the show. He did that Spiritual Life series that's also available from New Rome Press. So let's go, and of course, when we talk about New Rome Press, we're going to be talking quite a bit about the presentation of the book, just as much as the contents thereof. So this is a new release from New Rome. It came out this year, just a couple months ago. I was able to get my hands on a copy pretty quickly, and man, what a pretty book. The first Greek edition came out in 2012, published, like most of Hieromonk Gregorius' works, through the cell of St. John the Theologian on Mount Athos. He was also responsible for the first and second English editions in 2016 and 2019. And he actually wrote the introduction in English for those, and we'll get to that in a bit. And so, finally, we have the New Rome edition from this year. In the original Greek, the title of this book translates to "This is the Living Water," and man, that's what more can be said? Because that's what this is, the living water. Christ is the living water. The translators were, and I'm so terrible at pronouncing Greek names, so please forgive me for stumbling on this. I've read this name like 20 times, and I'm like hoping I get it right. Chara Dimakopoulou, okay, with the help from Dionysia Harvey. So there you go on the translators. Now, so in the last episode, we did go over the law of God, and in that book we saw a straightforward, kind of matter-of-fact book without too much, commentary. And that leaves a lot of room for, like parental input, godparent input, to kind of expound a bit on their own experience. In this book, however, this is more akin to actually kind of sitting with a teacher and learning firsthand. So whereas the other book is kind of like sitting in a classroom, this is more like walking with a teacher, so to speak. And as always, like I mentioned, it's visually stunning. So let's get into the presentation of the book first. That sort of matte hard card covering with the extended flap, and what's really cool about this book is, well, let's go over the intricacies of the artwork. The binding is just, I do want to show you, there's some slight gappage there in the glue, but having gone through most of the book and tested the binding. It is, you know, that's solid. That's not going anywhere. New Rome knows what they're doing. Here's one of my favorite parts of the book right here, is the bookmark that comes with the book. Right? And it's got a prayer to accept God's will in the back by Metropolitan Philip. And it's made of the same material as the cover material. So all in all, construction solid as always. So let's get into some of the printing aspects. You'll notice right here that we have some blue ink, which now usually in books you see just like red. There's one other book on the market that is using blue ink to highlight text, and that is the King James Lion by Humble Lamb. I still haven't gotten a copy of that Bible, but instead of using red in that Bible, they use blue to highlight Christ's words. It's much easier to read. And the reason red was used in the past is because it was just a cheaper ink to get, but blue ink is so cheap now that you're starting to see more use of blue ink. So if you're looking to donate something to the show for review, you got $100 laying around in that King James Lion, I wouldn't mind having a copy. But we're not going to take a look at the table of contents just yet, because the cool thing, what they use the blue for, the bold blue highlighting is used to denote words, terms that'll be found in the glossary. So, come on. You know, you'd think I'd just open to a page with one on it. But very early on in the book, you see examples of it. And I'm making a fool of myself right now because this bookmark, I think, is probably one of them, actually. But maybe not. But anyway, so throughout the book, you will see terms like here, chrism, miron, in blue, and then in the back in the glossary. Yeah, where do you go? So, and here's your glossary. I'm sorry, this is a subject term index. Where is it? Come on. There's your glossary. Oh, you know, I'm looking at a boat. So, and then here you also have cross-reference of other blue notes that are found in the glossary, and it's a really good glossary. So very happy about that. Hieromonk Gregorius is no joke. So being a modern work, it's worth noting that heretical deviations such as the Filioque are discussed early on in the book during the teaching of the Creed. And here's where I got to turn the page on the notes, because I actually took notes. So page 27 I have down as an example of how the book works. And not only is the word dripping with just loving words, but he keeps it short and sweet. It's more than just info. It's a pastoral approach to explanation. So an example on page 71. So here we have a brief bit on the life of the Theotokos and her entry into the temple here. But above that, we actually have a short explanation of why the Immaculate Conception is a heresy, which is fantastic. Page 90, not too far off, page 90. So we have a short section on schisms and heresies that come along in the section on the Church and the Communion of the Saints. And so we have a short list of all the major heresies: Arianism, Nuna Malachi, Nestorianism, Monophysitism, etc., etc., etc. And it just kind of gives you a brief breakdown of those. I went over this in the live stream the other day, and it is worth repeating. I'm going to read this to you because I think it's something that a lot of people, especially in internet orthodoxy, forget. Quote, "When fearlessly speaking the truth, the saints did not have a trace," not a trace, it says, did not have a trace of enmity towards heretics. They were acting out of love to protect their flock from erroneous beliefs and to prompt the well-intentioned heterodox to reflect on these matters. Short version, approach with love. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's something we continually forget. So here's a great example of more of they're the line drawings that are always featured in New Rome's publications, which are immaculate. So, and there's plenty of these littered throughout the books. I had a marker here for some reason, and I forget why. Oh, right. Because, you know, of the constant prayers and references to the Theotokos, I had this idea that, you know, we talk about through the prayers of the Theotokos, and through her we do things. And I think that's where a lot of people get tripped up. They're not looking at the word through. You know, it's not that we ask the Mother of God to save us. We ask that we be saved through her, because through her Christ came into the world. You get where I'm going with that? Great. So, and moving right along, the last section I want to point out quickly, because there's just so much to go into with this book and not a whole lot of time to do it. Page 221, just in case you were wondering, and I'm happy to say that it's not overbearing at all, but there is a short section on asceticism and monasticism, and its place in the Orthodox world, and it's only a couple pages long. Boom, there, it's over. And that's it. And wow, what a lovely little line drawing of the Holy Mountain right there. So real quick, and the best part about this, in my humble opinion, is the breakdown in the table of contents. Every section has a subheading, and so if there is a specific thing you're looking to read about, it is really easy to find. And of course, you saw the glossary. It's just the bee's knees. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking for a catechetical text to maybe gift to someone or for yourself to deepen your own understanding of our Orthodox faith, I cannot recommend this one enough. And maybe my zeal is because it's new to me, and so I'm really jazzed about it, but I think it's a really, really well done book. What more can you say? Head on over there and grab a copy if you want. Link will be in the description. At any rate, on behalf of Spooky Cat and myself, thank you again for sticking it out with me and taking a brief look at this wonderful book. Yeah, that's it. Go to church, say your prayers, remember God, and pray for me, please. I need it. I love you all very, very much. So with that, I will catch you on the flibbity flobbity floop. Glory to God.